First, I just want to say that my husband Steve's son Sharon and his family, as well as my son-in-law Jason, all wanted to be here today, but were unable to come due to their jobs and other obligations. But I'm sure they're here in spirit, as are many others who weren't able to make it. One time when I came to visit Mom in the hospital about a year ago, she was very mentally confused and out of it. I became convinced it was hospital-induced sleep deprivation. Because if any of you have ever been in the hospital, you know they can make it almost impossible to sleep. Waking you up for meals, blood draws, medications, moving you, vitals, doctor visits, noises. It's a wonder anyone can get better in a hospital. So Corey and I took turns sleeping on the couch in her room and shooing off everyone we could so she could sleep without interruption. After the third night of this, she woke up completely clear and alert. It was wonderful, a gift. The nurse came in to do her vitals that day and told her, "Okay, Miss Dottie, I have to ask you a few questions, and they may seem silly, but just bear with me. What's your name?" And Mom said, "Dottie Quinn," but she kind of rolled her eyes a little bit. Then she said, "And who is this?" And she said, "My daughter, Sharon." And then the nurse asked, "And where are you?" Now, when Mom was clear, she'd say Loma Linda, where she was at the hospital. But if she was confused, she might say San Bernardino or some other place. This time, she looked at the nurse and said, San Bernardino. But then I saw a little smile starting at the corner of her mouth and a little twinkle in her eye, and I said, "Mom," and she said, "Okay, Loma Linda." The nurse looked confused, and I said, as you probably already guessed, she was joking. And the nurse said, "Miss Dottie, you cannot joke with me about that. This is important." And Mom just smiled. That was Mom, always positive, always joking, even in tough times, always appreciating the blessings in life and not dwelling on the negative. She was always thinking of others, doing little things to help them, to cheer them up. But then I don't have to explain that to any of you, do I? Because that's why you loved her, and that's why you're here. I truly believe one of the reasons she lived so long is because of that positive attitude. In spite of being widowed at 46, breast cancer that spread, brain tumors, Parkinson's, and hospitalizations. Back in '86, when her breast cancer had spread to her bones, she was told statistically she probably only had 1 to 2 years left to live. By the way, that was 30 years ago. It was a great reminder to people given only a few years to live that no matter what statistics or doctors say, only God knows how much time we have here, because we don't go home to be with Him until He says it's time. And I'm so thankful He blessed her with so many years so our family could have that time with her, and she could even see her first great-grandbaby Amber, the cute little vocal one down there. When I was in college, George, an assistant manager at Marie Callender's, where Mom, Corey, and I worked, was a runner, always challenging waitresses to running competitions. They were supposed to run 1 mile a day, 5 to 6 days a week for a month, and they kept failing, and we kept having to hear from George how women couldn't be disciplined. So I got fed up and asked him to challenge me, but he said because I was into sports, it would have to be harder. So we decided on 3 miles a day for 30 days with no days off. I ran in the rain, in the heat, and even 2 days on a sandy dirt road at an ROTC camp in Joshua Tree in the desert. But when I got home and only had 1 day left to do it, it was late, and I was so exhausted, I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to go to bed. But Mom, she said, "Sharon, you know if you don't do this, you'll never hear the end of it, and you'll always regret it. I'll go with you. Come on, let's go down to the track, and I'll walk around the track while you run." So we drove down to Del Vallejo as it was getting dark, and I started running, and Mom started walking. I'd see her as I was lapping her, but once it got dark, I couldn't really see her anymore on the other side of the track. I knew she was there, loving me and supporting me. I just couldn't see her. That's kind of how I feel now. that I'm running the race marked out for me, and even though I can't see her, she's still there on the other side of the track, supporting me, encouraging me, loving all of us. Hebrews 12:1 says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." Mom taught us all a lot about perseverance. And I think she's in that great cloud of witnesses, cheering me on, cheering us all on our journeys. And I think we're all better for that. Thank you so much for coming out today to remember her.